record this.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Just want to share my screen and then we can hit it. Okay, you can all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, just to get you into the picture, when you are new and you have just signed up with Meishi, you signed up under the Dreams section of Meishi, but you use the exact same login details to sign into your Meishi side. The Meishi side is where your apps are, where your building or your building side is. So everything is run from that. Now, if you see my screen, once you've logged in, I'm actually just going to log out and then I'll show you what it looks like. So when you go into Meishi.pro and you'll see there's login or register. You don't go in the register, go into the login because you've already registered under the Dream section. So you will click on login. You'll put your email address in there and then your password. And then I'm Robert, not robot. And then log in. So there is your screen. Okay. Now on the side, you'll see there's a whole lot of tabs. You've got your Meishi app. When you click on your Meishi app, it'll ask you, do you want to create an app? And if you already have apps running, you will see if you click on the Meishi apps, all your apps that you have created are there already. Okay. So if you go to create an app, you first have to put the name of the app in, and then you choose whichever one of the themes that you would like. Now, remember, when you are choosing a theme, you've also got a selection of colors underneath to choose from. So once you've selected a theme, I like using this theme here with John Doe, but they're all John Doe, but this theme here, and then you can choose your different colors. So if you click on that color, you see that color will be highlighted, then you will go and you'll create. Okay, I'm not going to do that now. I just want to go through the tabs first. Then you have what they call admin. That is just for all your, if you want to have additional users on your profile, and you can also set a couple of rules. I tend not to use this too often. I don't want people coming in and then they might log in and change some settings. So you can change it that they can't, but I don't work with that. I just some people that might have a small business that they're running, then you can work with that, but you won't need it now for today's training. The NFC card is just your cards that you can order. If you want to, instead of using your phone, the QR code, you can have a little bank card that you can just tap on people's phones and your app gets put on their phone. Then you have your appointments. So I'll show you when you log in, when you're on your app, you can book appointments. Then there's a little button on, I will show you when we get in there as well. You can actually use this contact button as a leads generation form, but I will show you that just now. Then obviously your calendar, it'll show you where your appointments are. Then these are different plans for the other side of Meishi. So in other words, when you're selling the Meishi to a company that want like 20 or 30 cards, but that falls under the Dreams training. Bruce will go through that with you, the different plans on that. Then you've got your referral program. That's just for your referral code for that program. And then you have settings. Now, this is quite an important one because under the settings one here, you can put your company logos in if you want to, or you want to keep it Meishi. That changes this logo at the top here. And then your favicon, this favicon just changes that favicon at the top there. So that's what you can use that all for. Then you can change the different colors, whatever you like. don't forget to hit save after any change that you make. If you don't hit the save button, all that information that you've already put in, you lose. So you have to start again. So let's get into how to build a card. So I'll go into Meishi, the Meishi app, and I'm going to say create a card. Okay. I'm just going to go in here quickly, and I'm just going to say I want this. I want it in black. And I'm going to say create a card. Now remember, I made a mistake. I didn't put the name in. So that'll give you that at the top there. I did that on purpose, promise you. So when you go into create, you must always put a name in. So what we're going to put in here, we're going to put your training. Okay, so there's your training in. Going to choose the card color, and I'm just going to say create. Now, it doesn't give me anything. It says generated successfully. So then I'll go back to Meishi apps. I'll go back to the apps. And here's all the list of the apps that I have already that I'm working with currently. If you are a person that is going to build apps or help people with apps, that is why it is better to take the $15 package, because you've got apps that what I prefer doing is I build an app for the person. I go to the person and I show him, this is what your app looks like. This is the different types of services that the app can do for you. And you give it to the person and you say, play with it for a couple of days. And once he gets the look and feel of that app and sees how it works, it is more likely that that guy, especially if it's a businessman, will go into the project. So then we go into training. So when you open up your training, it'll go back to themes in case you want to change any of your themes. But then whenever you are building your app, you start from this side and you go through this whole lot of tabs. Don't skip and jump ahead, because a lot of people get confused and they can't remember where they are, and you change things and you don't save it. So it's best to go to each section and save as you go along. So when we start off in the building, the app will want you to put in a banner and a logo. So that is very important. If you try to do anything else here, I want to change that, and I just want to put my name in there. And I'm going to click save. It's going to say banner field is required. So it's still, it'll keep on giving you that a sign until you have filled in your banner and your logo in there. Now, when you are doing your banners and your logos, there are different things. You can use a straight normal picture that you can put in there, and your dimensions, very important. On your pixel side, it's 1600 by 1200. So it's very important to understand that. Your logo here, this little picture there, is 512 by 512. So those are the dimensions when you are building your app to keep that in mind. So I normally just use Canva, and I go into my dimensions, and let me just go in here quickly. Sorry, this is a mess. I've been working here. Okay, this is a banner that I've just built now for somebody. If you take a look at the banner size, I'll show you now. So this banner size is 1600 by 1200. So it fits in correctly. But when you are building a banner, now this size banner fits in, and if you have anything else that you're going to put in on the banner, any other picture or anything like that, you must just make sure that it doesn't get cut off on the banner itself. let me show you what I mean. I might put that thing there. Okay, then I push save and I'll go through the whole process, and you'll see when it comes to the card, when you're checking the card, it'll cut off. So I just normally keep it where it was, and then I will show you. I have got one here somewhere. I'm using, I think it's that one. Yeah. So you can see the card. It's in the card. It's in the place where you want it. But you must also remember when you are building, don't look at this only. Okay, because this doesn't give you a good reflection of what you do. You normally go to that little icon there, view. You click on view, and it'll, sorry, you see, I'm jumping ahead of myself. You have to save changes, but I just want to put the banner in here as well. I'm just going to put my face in there. Save changes. So everything's saved there. And there's different things that you can play around with this. As you can see, I remove the background, and then the background comes through. I can remove the circle as well, but that's got to do with advanced stuff. We just want to get to the basics. So when you look at the banner itself, you'll see that thing is perfect in there, and that fits in perfectly in there. So the basic of your card is there. But always remember, once you've checked it on your preview, you always check it on your phone, because sometimes some phones play up, and you just must make sure that it is viewable on the phone. So what you will do is you can do this. Okay, this is when you do skip once. You go to that QR code on the tab there, scan it with your phone, just to make sure that everything's in parameters. So all the parameters are met there. Okay, so there we have the basics. Now what we're going to do is you can change this name. You can put your name in here under title. So it's Robert Kruger, and I can put my designation in there. I'll just say builder. Sorry, the builder, and then we don't ever forget to save. So you save. If you don't save and you go on to something else, you forget it. Then you will put in your description. So whatever your business is that you're going to put in there. So you'll put in there network builder. Let me see. Sorry, man. Going the wrong way. And then you'll put whatever description is, what you do, all those type of things. So you'll fill it in. So whatever you put in there, and then we don't forget to save. So what it'll do is it'll put your network builder for new skin. Now you see, as I build, this thing is going to go down. So this, I advise you, do not touch this link. Okay, this link is linked to that QR code. So if you want to change your personalized link to something that you think, like maybe you want to put your name in, or you want to put a number in, or whatever, do it now while you're building. Because what happens is, once that link has been set and your card has been completed, a lot of people print those QR codes, they put it on their vans, or they put it on cards that they hand out to people, or they put it on signs. And when people scan that QR code, it will bring you to the card that you've built. But if you change this in any way, it won't pick it up. So it won't be for that card. So never ever change this link. If you, while you're building, while you're putting your card together, you can put whatever you want to in there. It will be Meishi Pro, the / and whatever you want to put in there. So I can put Robert in there. I can put whatever your company name is or anything like that you can put in there. But after that, do not change it, because once you change it, your QR code changes. And if you printed your QR code, it's going to cause problems later on. Then after that, you go to contacts, you'll switch it on, and yeah, you can put all your contacts in. So I'm going to put my phone number in there. My phone number is already programmed in there, so I'll just add it. I want to put my WhatsApp in there. So I'll click on WhatsApp and I will add it. And I'll put my, what else can I put in there? I'll put my email address in there. So I'll put my email address. There's it. Okay. So now I've added all my addresses. Click on save. So once that's saved, you'll see on the side there, all my contact information goes in there. Then, which is very important, a lot of people want their business hours in. So you, first of all, you go down the side there and you make sure which days you are open, or you click the days that you are open. So in this case, we open on Monday to Friday, and you put your opening and closing time. So let's say, for instance, you open at 8 in the morning. So unfortunately, this is the one that takes time. You have to go each one. Okay, and you close at 1700. Okay, so there all my times that I've got in. Don't forget to save, and you've saved it. Now what happens is, if you take a look there, there's my business hours. I'm closed on Sundays and I'm closed on Saturdays, and then all my times that I am open. Now, this is the important one, is if you are going to book appointments. So you'll open your appointments and then you add new appointments. So you say you want your first appointment, you want to be at work, you want to have your meeting. So your first appointment will be from 9 o'clock. Oh, no, go away. Sorry, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Okay, so that's your first appointment. Your second appointment, you will take from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And then from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And then you have your lunch and you start again at 1400 to 1500. And your last appointment for the day is 1500 to 1600. Okay, so you've got your appointments in. You'll click Save Changes. So if you take a look at your appointments, your make an appointment is there, your business hours are there, and your contact details are there. So then you'll get to services. Now, this is a very important point that you can do, is if the people that you are selling to already have a website, okay, if they do have a website, it makes it quite easy under the services, because what you will do is you will open up services and you'll click it there, and you will put in whatever service. So in other words, I'm going to go, don't know if this is the right one. Open. Okay, so I'll put the Meishi build in there. So there's this my icon, and I'm just going to put here Meishi. Then I want to put a description. Join Meishi. Then I'll put a button text here. I'll just say click here. And what I'm going to do is you put in your referral code in there. So in other words, your referral code that you have under Dreams, you will copy it and you'll paste it in there. Okay. But instead of joining Meishi, I'm just going to put under description, I'm just going to put Meishi, and I'm going to put in here, let me just put that and then just take this out. Okay. So I'm just going to put in Meishi Pro. I'm just using this as an example. So once you got in there, you've got your Meishi, you've got what it is, you've got Meishi, and then you go click here. Now, whatever you put in on services, and it always has to point to a URL. In other words, it has to point to a website. You will click on there, and it'll open up to Meishi Pro again. So in other words, it'll bring you back to that website. Now, let's put another service in just for an example. So I want to add another service. But now I'm going to put in let me just put in just going to put in that. Let's put my picture in there, and I'm going to put in demo. Okay. And then I'm going to put click here. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just take a shortcut. Sorry, man, I know I'm cutting in here, but I want to just go back here. I want to show you I have got a demo app. So I'll go here to demo app. I'll just click on the link. So I'll copy the link. You'll see why I'm doing this, and you'll understand. So then I'm going to go back to put Robert Kruger twice. It's not clever. That wrong one. Sorry, man, I shouldn't have put Robert Kruger. I'm just going to put here. Let me just put Philip. It'll be easier. Okay, so let me just save that again. Or else I'm going to get mixed up on the names. So I will go back to services. I've put that in. So I'm going to put my link in there. So I've copied the demo link. So in other words, if you've got 10 cards, or even if you've got the $5 card, you get 2 cards. You can use one card to paste it into another one. Okay, so in other words, it's not, so it could be your services. So in other words, Albert might have 2 or 3 businesses. He might be an architect, he might be a lawyer. So if he's an architect, but he also loves old cars. So he can have a card that he has for his architect business, and he can have another card for his old cars, which is his hobby. So he can put that card in here as well. So once I've put that card in there, you will see I can save changes. So there's the demo. So if I go out here to go view again, I always use this view because it gives you the feel and the look and feel of what your card looks like. So here's my demo, and if I click there, you'll see under my demo, I've got more cards that I've put in there. So I've got all the demo cards. I've got the Standard Bank. I've got the Mercedes-Benz. This is just to highlight to people the capability of Meishi. So in other words, I've got a car dealership, I've got a bank, I've got another car dealership, I've got Bugatti in the UAE, I've got a property, and I've got a makeup artist. So I've got all their cards. So if I go and click on their cards, the whole card of that dealership opens up again. So I'm highlighting what the capabilities of Meishi. Now, why I've done this is because if you go look in here, there's another option that people would like, especially if they are estate agents or car dealers. It is the virtual tours that we can put in. So in other words, you can click on the virtual tour. The virtual tour will come up. And there we go. So you can go into each and every one of these different things. So I'm just going to go out of this now. So that's just to show you what everything, what all is capable under your services. Now, bear in mind, I'm very meticulous on making things run in order. So you can see these blocks differ. So if I look here at demo, I didn't put a description in under the demo side. So I'm just going to put in the showcase, because I'm showcasing what Meishi is capable of. You can put in whatever you like. You know, you can say put in a longer description or a shorter description, or you don't even have to put in a description. So in other words, there's all my blocks are still uniform now. The next thing that you get to will be your products. Now, the product section is if you are selling online. So if you are going to be, if you've got a home shop, or you've got a shop that is on your website, you can connect it to this that will read to your payment portal as well. So in other words, people can order and pay via the app as well. So that's another a bonus thing. If you don't have to go pay for a site with the payment portal, you can just add your payment portal on your Meishi site. Then the testimonials is a very powerful tool. So in other words, you can put all testimonials. So if somebody needs a testimonial or gives you a testimonial, you can take it, put their photo there, or just put testimonial or some picture there, the person's name, and what they write about you. Just to give you an example, let me just show you what it looks like. If I go there, just a second. If I go onto my app, okay, this is my Meishi app. You can go in, and yeah, you got your testimonials. So all the people that have given me testimonials, all the testimonials will go in there. So it's nice to have that, because it looks professional and people like to see that, you know, there's something behind this. Let's just go back here. Okay, so we've got testimonials. Then under social, this is where you put all your social media pages. So in other words, you'll put your Facebook link, your TikTok link, your Instagram, whichever social media platform that you use, you can just add it. You can put your YouTube channel. So all that means is you'll click on Facebook, you'll put your link in there. So whenever somebody puts it on, clicks on your Facebook, it'll take you directly into the Facebook link. So in other words, under social, there it'll go. If I click on there, my Facebook comes up. Okay. So there's all different things that you can put on there for on your social. So all social media links can be put in on there. I'm just going to close that for now. Then a lot of people want to put in the position of their company. So in other words, where your business address is. You can use Google Maps, but you must just remember when you go into Google Maps, you have to get your iframe code. So in other words, when you go onto Google Maps, I just want to show you where to get it. Okay, let's just say I'm going to take this section here. Share this location. So the share will come up. You don't go to copy link, you go to embed map, and then you copy that HTML. So I'll just go through that again. So I'm going to go to N1 City Mall. I'm going to click on there, share this location. Don't copy that link, go to embed. So then you'll copy that iframe. We'll go back to your build, click on Google Maps, open, paste, and then save. So if you go view this again, you'll see your Google Map will be put in there as well. Are there any questions so far before we carry on? Albert?
Yeah. Any question, guys? If you have, just raise any. Anyway, Robert, we're gonna have recording late. You're gonna give me us recording, right?
Yes, no, I will. I see
Okay.
Dominic has got a question there.
Yeah.
Got a hand up.
Dominic?
Yeah, I do. You mentioned you can add your products and stuff like that, and you can put your own payment gateway in it.
Yes.
Would this work with drop shipping? Say you're getting products, like a link of a product from a certain website, let's say AliExpress, and you put the link in there. Will it populate the product, or do you need to upload the photos individually? So it's
No,
like
you'll have to. You'll have to upload the individual products, the individual photos and stuff like that. The link, the link is just pointing you to the payment gateway.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. So in other words, we've got down to Google Maps. Then under custom HTML, there are different things that you can use here. I'm not going to populate this one. I'll just go into ones that are made already just to save some time. So I'll go into my Meishi apps. Okay, and I'm going to go into, this is an app I've created because I do house and pet sitting as well. So in other words, I created it, the whole thing. And if I go into my custom HTML, what I've got in here under my custom HTML, I've actually got my price list. So if I embed it into the product as well. So in other words, with HTML, I can put in any HTML things I need. So it embeds that whole price list. And you can also embed Google Forms. So your Google Forms, you can put a Google Forms in here and people can complete it. Then it comes to your Google account. And once the forms have been filled in. So with the HTML, you can put in forms, you can put in whatever. If you're a restaurant, you want to put in a menu and all those type of things that you can populate as well. But you can also do videos. So in other words, if I go just back to my normal one, and I go to the HTML on the normal side as well, there's the video for this. So this is the Meishi video.
Hey there.
So
I've fumbled through it.
So it goes goes through the video. There you also get your iframe code. So if you go into, just I'm going to change here. If you go into YouTube as well, it's the same thing. Let me just see. It's so many different things. I just want to. Okay, so in other words, if you get any video that you have, oh no, this is the wrong one. Sorry, I can't find a decent video now. Okay, I'm just going to use this for instance. So what you will do is you'll go on share. You'll go embed, and you'll copy that embed. It's also an iframe code. Now I'm going to show you a cheat what you do. Now, if I copy this code and I paste it in, let me just go out of here. And I paste it in here, that video will not be straight. Okay. So there is a cheat way to do it. You go to ChatGPT or to Gemini, and you paste the code in there, and you say it, please center for my website and make a bit smaller, and it'll give you a different code. Then you copy that code and you'll paste it in here, and it will center your video. Because if you just pull out a normal code and you punch it in there, sometimes it does work and it is centers. Other times you'll see it'll be off center and there'll be a gap this side. So, and if that doesn't work, you have to play with your width and your height percentages. Yeah. So you will just change it until you get a balance. It's very important just to understand that, because just pasting it in directly doesn't work 100%. Okay, so that's on the HTML side. I'll go back to the training here. Okay, so we've got there, and then that's just putting your HTML in. I'm not going to put anything in there now. And then just to add pictures on your gallery, so you click on image, and then you choose a picture. So I'm going to, you can choose any picture. I'm just going to put in, let me just put in that one, open. So once you've chose, it'll show there, and then you save. You can you just repeat all the time, and then what you'll see is there's the picture of the lady whose app it is. So then I'll go back there and I'll click on image, choose the image, and just put another, I'll just put another image just to show you how it works. And then you'll see it's there. Okay, so that's all in there. So if I go into the view side again, you'll see there's my services, there's my gallery. If I put any other images in, there'll be a little arrow that'll appear there, and I'll just click and it'll change my business hours, contact information, and then obviously my map. So you've got, that is populating that whole thing. The way it is now, it is operational. You can use it. And you can see it doesn't take a long time to put an app together. You can put an app together within, once you know what you're doing, within 10 minutes. Just a workable app. Now we're going to fine tune the app slightly. So I go into, if you are a developer, or if you are somebody that understands code, you can use the custom side, and yeah, you can change your CSS and your JS. You can put in change your Google fonts. This is also important. This you can do for yourself under branding. So I'm going to, you'll see here I just want to go in here, I just want to explain to you what happens. So here's my my card, and you'll see at the bottom there it's got copyright Meishi 2025. Now you don't want Meishi on there, you say you want to change it. So I want to have my name there. So I'm going to put Robert. So I'll put my name there now, and I'll say save changes. Now when I go and check my card, and I'll scroll down to the bottom, you'll see it's changed. So this is just for your branding, just to make sure that your branding is, so you can put your name. Okay, just a second. Sorry, man. Okay, there it is. Your name has been put in there. So that covers the first two blocks. Like I said, if you are a developer, if you want to know more about this is advanced training. And if some guys are interested in looking at this at a later stage, please feel free to contact me. And I don't know much. I've just picked up from other developers and what they've done. So we can go through that and we can learn together. And if you are a developer, maybe you can teach me. Then we have the next block is reordering blocks. Now, if we are taking a look at the layout, I don't like this layout because I don't want that one in there. I want my description above that. So what I go into, I go there, I take my description and I put it above there. Don't forget to click Save Change. So I'll click there and I just refresh there. Now you see that's above there. But I still don't want it there. I want to have my business hours must be, sorry, my contact details must be here. So what I must do is must go there. I want to take this more down to there, and I want to take my contact details and I want to put it there, and I want to save. So if I go in there now, you'll see there I am, there are my contact details, and make an appointment. But I can't make an appointment if I don't know what my business hours are. So we have to change that. So I go there and I take my business hours and I put it above my appointment. So it's all just to get the thing to flow correctly, the way you want it to flow. So now I've got, so people open my card, they see there's my contact details, they see my business hours, and they can make an appointment. Then here are all my services. Here is my gallery. This has gone a bit too far down. So what I want to do is I want to put it above services. So what I do is I take more and I just add it above services. And then I just click there. Now we can see what it does. So your description can be much longer. You can have a whole paragraph or two that's explaining about your business. Your contact details, they know my business hours, they can make an appointment. This is if they want to save the card, share the card, or connect. Now remember, the save card is when you click your three little dots. This will just tell you how to save your card. Your share card, as you know, your QR code comes up, or you can send it via any of your social media platforms. So all your social media platforms that are there, you can send it, or you can simply just click on copy and it'll copy the card. Then the contact, I'll get back to this contact. I want to explain that that's a very powerful tool, this. Okay, so now I've got my blocks all in order. That's all up to date. Then the next is search engine optimization. Now here is where you want to put your image in that must come up when you are sending your card via WhatsApp, via your Facebook, via Telegram. So if I click on there and I say, okay, listen, yeah, I want my face to come up. So I'll click on there, and sorry, that's not my face. It's a blank one. I don't remember where my other one. Oh, here's it. So there it is. It's going to look stretched and stuff like that, but when you see it, it'll be right. Then you can put in your meta words. So in other words, whatever business is, you can use any words that are going to attract it for that. So this is New Skin. I'm just going to use the name that's on there. You can put any other words, networking, all those type of words, and make sure it's under your description as well. I normally just copy and paste it, and then in the description just add a little bit more, but just for time purposes now, I will put that in. So then another thing is you can link this to your Google Analytics. Okay, that is a longer process. Bruce does have forms that show you how to do it. It is quite complicated, but if you follow the procedure properly, you can put it in. Now, what Google Analytics does, it gives you a breakdown of where your card, who's looking at your card. You can actually hone in to see where people are logging onto your card. So it's the whole analytics that's put in there on that. I'm not going to go into that now, but just remember, I have to save card. Now we're going to go to the PWA, which is your progressive web app. You have to open it. And then I'm going to put my card in. I've got it in as training. Just copy that as well. I'll just put it in under app name as well. Okay, so everything there. Then you can change your colors on your app. I don't want to mess with that, but you can change whatever you want the theme to be, and then it is save changes. So now your progressive web app is on. What a progressive web app is for people that aren't in the development side, it means that whatever changes I make on the screen, okay, will change everybody's apps altogether. Okay, so in other words, that is why this app is so powerful, is that whatever changes I make, if I make changes to the smallest thing, it will reflect on everybody's app instantaneously. So I have changed. Then cookies, you can put it on, you can enable your cookies if you want to. That will just help with your Google Analytics, but it's not that important. Then your QR code. Now, remember I told you about this link. Yeah. Once you change your QR code, or once you make changes to your QR code and stuff now, do not touch this link. Do not change it, or else that app is going to, the QR code will be invalid. It won't be linking to your app. So a lot of people have paid thousands and thousands to print the QR codes to put it on their vehicles, and then somebody comes and messes with the app here, or the link here, and the whole thing goes haywire. Okay, so wrong one. Sorry. When you click on the wrong one, it saves it, so we don't want to. Okay, so yeah, you can put in different things. You can put in text. So in other words, you want to put in, I'm just going to I can put in New Skin. I can change the text color to whatever I want. So all that you need to make sure of is, once you've done the change here, take out your phone, scan that QR code to make sure the QR code is working. Okay, so we don't want to put in text, so we're going to take the text out. We want to put a picture in. So we're going to put an image in, choose your file. I'm just going to put in. Let's put in there. Okay, so there's my new skin sign. Keep it, don't take it more than a quarter. So in other words, you want to leave it there. First, check your QR code. So in other words, what I do is I take out my phone and I go to my QR code and I scan the QR code to see if it works, and it opens up. So in other words, that size is perfect. So in other words, it'll give you, when people scan your QR code, they'll be able to read it. If you take it a bit bigger and you do it something like that and you try scan it, it's not going to scan. Yeah, doesn't scan. So it's important to make sure that your picture is not too big. So I normally keep it in around about a quarter, just to make sure that you can see the picture. Obviously, you're going to use a different picture, but that you can see the picture. And the size of this picture is also would be the same as the logo. Use at 512 by 512, and then it makes it nice and square. Okay, then whatever you've done there, you click on Save Changes again. Okay, the picture doesn't always come out, but all you do is you just refresh and it'll come in again. Okay. Then the last block here is when you set up your payment gateway. So whatever payment gateway you're going to be using, if you are going to sell products online, you can use Stripe, you can use PayPal. I don't know what different other payment processes you have in the Philippines, but here in South Africa, we can use PayFast, you can use Yoko. I don't know if you have those type of things, and you can link it to your card as well, and you can process payments. So all that is available. So just to recap, follow the thing through. Okay, I'm not going to do anything like that. You follow the thing through from the left, right to the right. Once you completed, your card is complete. Everything is in there that you need, that you'll need to do training. But as you get to know, and as you are building your card or learning about your card, there are different options. There are a couple of things that you can change, that you can help to work. Just going to give you an example. If you take a look at this one, this is the one that we just built. You can see where that picture comes in. Okay. But now if I go and I say, okay, I'm going to use, this is one I built for a friend. You see, you can even change the button things. You can make that much bigger as well if you want to. So in other words, your banner can be much bigger. You can add wraps in the back, but this is all advanced things that you can learn later on. But just the basics that we are doing for today is just to make sure that you can get a workable card. So just to recap, you pick a theme. Once you've gone in there, you pick the theme, you choose your theme, you save. When you get to the details, you put in your banner, you put in your logo, and whatever title, description, and things that you want to put in. Then you put your description in here. Don't mess with the link. If you learn anything from me today, please don't miss the link. Then you put your contact information, your business hours, your appointments, your services, your products, your testimonials, your social media links. You don't have to, as you can see, you don't have to use all of these. You can use the ones that are going to make you comfortable, that you're comfortable with using. Now, I just want to get back to the other thing now that while we're speaking about it. I have got short videos. I must just find them on how to do the appointment, how to set up an appointment, all those type of things that I can send you, that I can show you. But remember, I told you this link is very important. If you are an estate agent, or if you are a car dealership, or if you are doing a seminar, or if you are at a conference or a display like this, one of the CTICCs where you're going to showcasing your business at a show or something like that. Remember, you always used to have everybody had a clipboard and a pen, and then you say, please, sir, write your name, your email address, and your telephone number, and I'll contact you later. What happens? Those things go missing. You can't read the people's writing, and you miss a lot of leads. Now, this tool is very important. So you'll click on contact. So in other words, what you'll do is you'll have your little tablet, or your I prefer to have a tablet that you can put on the desk. And when people come and look, you say, listen here, if you have any information, first of all, scan the QR code, you have my app on your phone. So they got the app on their phone. And then you say to them, leave your details and whatever you need to do. So in other words, I'm going to say, Albert came to my stand, and he puts his name in there. He puts his email in there. He puts his phone number in there. I'm just going to put that number in there. And he puts a message. Need more info on TV. Okay. Then you click make contact. So it says success, your contact has been made. Okay. This works similar to the appointment as well. So when you click on there and you go to contacts, what happens here is it's under the Philip card, okay, because all your cards are different, as you can see. So it's under the Philip card. The guy's name is Albert. His email address, his phone number. Need more information on the TV, or on TV. So in other words, you're selling TVs. So that's a brief description. Then it says pending. So yeah, I've got two icons. Add a notation, so I can add a note there saying I have contacted him, or I'm going to contact him, and all those type of things. So I can action it. And when I'm finished, I simply delete it. So in other words, if you've gone to a show, you can have 20, 30, 100 names here. Names that you've got the contact details, you've got everything, that you don't have to have it on a piece of paper that goes missing. Everything is in your back office. Everything is there. Same with your appointments, same with all those type of things. With the appointments, it will be the same thing. The name and everything will be there. And it will also give you the date when the appointment is, and it'll be written there again. So, and like I said, it'll be on your calendar as well. The calendar comes in twice here. So whatever you have in your contacts, you have all the information of the person that you need, and then you take it from there. So everything is there. This, to me, as a network or as a marketer, is very, very powerful, because a lot of people don't understand the power of this, because you don't see it all the time, and you don't think about it. When you see contact, you think, okay, I just want to get the guy's contact details, but I'd rather use it as a lead generation form. Guys, I think that's about covered everything that we have done. The hour, it's on the hour already. Are there any questions? Anything that you'd like to know?
Hi, Robert. I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Janelle. So about that feature on the contact and for appointments, let's say I made that app for a friend. Would they have access to the messages that come in and the appointments, or would I have to relay it to them?
Okay. What it does, it will, if in the app there's the email address, it will send the email to the person. I'm speaking under correction now, but it'll send them an email that they do have an
Mhm.
appointment, they won't be able to see the appointment because it's in their back office, in your back office, unless you
Yes.
give them, like I said, under the, let me just share here quickly again. Unless you give them under admins, you can give a user, and you can set up a user. You can set them up as a user, and then you can also give them a role, the roles, the permissions, what they can do and what they
Mhm.
can't do. Okay.
Okay, so they could just have access to their app. Would
To
that
their
be
app.
one of the rules?
Yes.
Okay. But you mentioned that I could also input, where would I put the email address where they could be notified that there's a message or there's appointment set up through the
It'll
app?
be on the app. So each app
Okay.
each app, let's say, look at the not Design Fusions, that's not a good one. You just go in here. So in other words, under my contact details, there's the email.
I
So
see. So
the email address you have on your app.
mhm. It will automatically send a message there as well.
I'm speaking under correction.
I see. All right.
I think
We'll test it out.
I'll double check it, but I think it is, because when it comes under an appointment, let me just do something here. Pick a date. I'll just want to make double sure. While we're here, let's do it. Select the hour. I'm going to do that one. Make an appointment. So I'm just going to put that all in there. Make an appointment. I think it made that appointment. I'm not sure. Let me just double check. Yes. Okay. So it's made that appointment. Now, I just want to see on my. I think it does do that. Let me just make sure. My internet is taking a bit of strain here. I don't know why. It hasn't come through yet. But I think I'll double check for you, and when we have the meeting next week, I'll be able to confirm, or just contact me.
All right.
I'm on the group. Just send me a message, and I'll just double check for you.
Okay. Thanks, Robert.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any more questions? Yeah, kahit Tagalog, Bisaya, or anything ha, tatranslate natin. May mga question pa kayo?